the side chick is asleep, and then Shande is like, what can I do to this lady to punish her? She goes ahead to pour kerosene on this woman and sets her on fire. Shande is arrested. The courts have their turn. High Court, guilty. Court of Appeal, guilty. Now it gets to Supreme Court, and then everything changes. And then the conviction is overturned, and she's found not guilty, and she's set to go free. Can we say this is justice, or has the Supreme Court set a precedent that is quite dangerous?
I'm not in support with like what the court held that she was provoked or she lost her self-control. I don't believe that.
I agree with the Supreme Court actually that it is provocation because some people have delayed reaction.
The man has fault because because what makes the man to break in the Side-Chic is wrong, and that man is he goes.
Absolutely, I agree with you. Hi everyone, my name is Eniola and you're watching LHS, Law, History and Society, where we connect the law to the people. And of course, before we get into today's gist, I'm not here by myself. I have very lovely co-hosts here. I'll give them a minute or two to introduce themselves. So to my right, I have...
My name is David.
Okay, hi David, nice to meet you.
Thank you.
Hello everyone, I'm Amara.
Hi Amara, welcome.
Thank you.
Hello, I'm Esther.
Hi Esther, welcome. So obviously we have a very interesting case to discuss today. So we're going to be very interactive. Okay. Today's gist is quite interesting. It surrounds family, emotions, and of course legal responsibility, because we mostly discuss cases that have already been decided. And then just a disclaimer, we're not giving legal advice here. We're just here to talk about already decided cases and how it affects us in our everyday interaction, I would say. Okay. So I'll give a brief introduction or gist about the matter or the case. So this case is about a woman in a very small village in Benue State, a mother, a wife, married to a civil servant. Now, she has this, she's happy about her family, her home front and everything. And all of a sudden, there's just around her husband, having a side chick. Yeah, I know, steamy.
Yeah.
So, one day, the side chick comes to their house, demanding the attention of her husband. And bear in mind, this is mid-dinner. So imagine, just picture this family setting, we're eating, and then one random woman comes into your home and she's demanding attention from the husband. And what does the husband do? Himself, he jumps up and goes to attend to this woman. And I know, right? The audacity. The woman, well, let's call her Shande, right? Mm-hmm. And then Shande goes to find out what's happening. Now, bear in mind that she's aware. This is like an acknowledged person that everybody seems to know is her husband's side chick, right? Okay. So I'm sure there's a lot of emotions, like, she has probably been bottling up a lot of things, and then it gets to the point where the woman is coming to her home. Now, conversation goes on and happens. After a while, the husband now demands of Shande to prepare like a space or a room or whatever for her to sleep. The woman now, as per obedient wife, she makes room for the woman to sleep. But I'm sure in her mind, she's boiling, she's fuming. She's like, what is this? What is this? What's going on? I'm not going to let this woman take over my home, my husband, her marriage or whatever. Anyway, long story short, the side chick is asleep. And then Shande is like, what can I do to this lady to punish her? She goes ahead to pour kerosene on this woman and sets her on fire. Now, they proceed to go to the hospital, obviously, but she doesn't survive. Mm-hmm. And of course, Shande is arrested. The courts have their turn, High Court, guilty. Court of Appeal, guilty. Now it gets to Supreme Court, and then everything changes. Now, at the Supreme Court, they ask very important questions. Now, can we say that Shande acted within the control of herself? Can we say that obviously they factored in the fact that, one, the humiliation of having your side chick come to your home to make demands, and then your husband is asking you to, in a way, tend to your side chick. Mm-hmm. Two, emotions, the bottled up emotions. Now, like I said, it's acknowledged. It seems like everybody in their neighborhood probably knew that this woman is her husband's side chick, and she was just made to accept this. And then also just the mental stress, the emotional stress, the fact that she's about to lose her husband or whatever. And then they factor all of that in, and they come to the conclusion that she must have acted out of control, I guess, also as a result of provocation, right? And then the conviction is overturned and she's found not guilty and she's set to go free. Now, with all of that into consideration, can we say that, what does this mean? Can we say this is justice, or has the Supreme Court set a precedent that is quite dangerous? Because it means that any woman anywhere that is pissed off can just, and bearing in mind that, I mean, Shande did it, she got away. So before we get into the gist, I would like to read the applicable law that the Supreme Court mostly relied on, and that's the Penal Code, Section 221. For curious minds, I mean, if you're not bothered to read about it, is fine, but in case we have curious minds here, just for reference, Section 222 sub 1, where it's stated that culpable homicide is not punishable with death if the offender, whilst deprived of the power of self-control, by grave and sudden provocation, causes the death of the person who gave provocation, or causes the death of another person by mistake or accident. A careful reading of the provisions shows that what is paramount in the consideration of this section is whether the act that the offender has done, whether the act that the offender was done while the offender was deprived of the power of self-control and sudden provocation. So we can say that provocation is like a key consideration in how the Supreme Court came about their judgments. So, Amara, let's hear from you. What do you think? Let's talk about it.
Okay. From what you said, I'm thinking about the Supreme Court's judgment, because I'm like, was the woman actually provoked?
Okay.
Because when I think provocation, I assume that the moment the woman showed up at her house, as knowing that that's a Side-Chic, if indeed she was provoked, she would have acted there and then. But I feel like this was calculated and premeditated. Like, she thought about it. Like, oh, what can I do to punish this woman? Like, I really need to send this woman away. And then the next thing, she picked a kerosene and decided that to set the lady set the lady ablaze. So I'm not in support with like what the court held that she was provoked or she lost her self-control. I don't believe that. Because if indeed she lost her self-control, the moment maybe she has been calm since, the moment the husband said set up the room, she could have busted off and refused to actually, set up the room. But she carefully did it, did everything like
a dutiful wife.
You get it, and suddenly she just, set the lady ablaze, which is amazing, by the way.
Yeah. So you're leaning towards, this is a very dangerous precedent.
Yeah, it's actually a very dangerous precedent.
I feel like David has a lot to say. Please, let's hear from you. Let's hear from you.
My own opinion is that the woman acted like a good wife.
Okay.
First, so she obeyed
her
husband.
Okay.
But she should have set the Side-Chic
on fire.
But the man has the fault, because because what makes the man to break in the Side-Chic is wrong.
Of course.
Do you understand? So for the woman, should have acted immediately when the Side-Chicks entered, or either to even start fighting the Side-Chic rather than doing what she did. Do you understand? But maybe she could not control her emotion. She's a woman. So and the husband tell her to go and
make room
for the Side-Chick. I believe that maybe that was
that's how she snapped. Yeah.
Just that why she did what she did, but she should have done that. Do you understand? The first thing she just should have just done either to fight.
I would like to think that she did a little bit.
Do you understand? But I don't really. Well, she did the wrong thing. she did the wrong thing, but nobody fault is from the man.
Yeah. For bringing
the side chick
to the house. But I mean, in my head, I don't imagine that he invited her. If he was already having dinner with his family members, I imagine that she barged in, like the side chick came to make a statement.
I'm not sure.
And came into the home
and said, I don't think so. She can't just come in like that.
Have you not heard
the guy,
cases of side?
The man invited her. Do you understand? So that's just it. Because the man cannot just walk in to the man's house.
No, but it happens.
And sit down.
We see all of this happening. There's a video going around now.
Unlike me. Now. No, okay, let me repeat that baby. I'm a woman now.
Okay.
Just my husband and brought in a side chick. I will fight immediately now. Not just me.
I'm sure Shande. I'm sure she fought small.
Same story. I'm gonna prepare what?
He said, "I prepare what?" Okay.
So not like even there. Madam, please, can you leave?
Leave my house. Yeah.
So and I will not allow both of them to even go inside that room. But what the woman did was so wrong.
Yeah.
She did wrong.
Okay, so you think that the Supreme Court, their judgment was not fair, was not justice? Justice was not served.
For the woman to go to jail?
No, for the woman to be discharged and acquitted because they found her not guilty. Because their decision was that she acted based off of provocation.
That is it.
And so that means you agree with the Supreme Court?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Esther.
Let me first start with this is super story.
Serious super story.
But this is, unfortunately, this is not super story. This is actually real someone's life.
Yeah.
I agree with the Supreme Court actually that it is provocation.
Okay.
Because some people have delayed reaction. Not everyone
100%.
reacts immediately.
Yeah.
Some people are more, if you like, some people say patient, some people say stupid. But I think sometimes there are some things that happen and you are shocked in the moment.
Yeah.
And you don't actually, react immediately. And provocation sometimes can be delayed.
Yeah.
We look at the battered woman syndrome, right?
Yeah.
And you wonder why someone has been consistently beaten and you're still staying there. You're still wondering, why you not leaving? Why you not, but some people, the first slap is a shock.
Yeah.
Right? And
denial.
Denial, no, it didn't happen. It was, no, and I think according to the story now, she came in uninvited. That's what I want to be, because
I
that's
believe it was
from the summary.
as well.
She came in uninvited. So I'm sure maybe they had some sort of relationship. Let's assume, I don't know what the facts of the case are, but let's assume they had some sort of relationship. She could assume, oh, my friend just came to visit me or something. And then, you have this whole, and then we live in a society, like he said, that's for example, his good wife. No. No.
Yeah.
No, that's not good wife.
Yeah.
That's not good wife. Good wife is, in the first place, you won't disrespect me.
Period.
In that way.
Yeah.
So, for you to have the audacity, like I said, even to come into my home, shows that some sort of breakage has happened, right?
Yeah.
That makes you think it is okay for you to come into my home. So, for you to have that already, a lot of questions,
me,
right?
You're trying to poke. You're poking the bear.
You already did poke me. Yeah. So yes, that's why I would say it's provocation, and the fact that she might not have reacted, because everybody assumes they will react in a certain way,
until
right?
They're in the same
until you're
shoes.
actually in the situation, and then you realize that no, because there are times that someone would have hit you, and you're like, are we age mates, or are we
from where to where?
Where did this happen? And then you take your time to decide if you want to hit back or if you want to, and there are some things that sometimes as society we just wave off, right? So I imagine the whole time while she's preparing the bed, making the dinner, she's probably just thinking it's a dream. And afterwards you realize no, I can't take this. And in the moment, maybe the only thing she had around was the kerosene. And she decides, you know what? I'm setting you ablaze. But I mean, it does question, is it the woman we should set ablaze?
Or the man?
Well, anyway.
Good question. Very valid question. Very valid question. Because where's the man in all of this? I actually agree with you. I think that there's no way that the man will have invited her to the house. I would like to think that because like I said, we hear cases all the time of side chicks also wanting to make a room or make a name or find a way to mark their territory, right? Maybe she has been doing side chick for a while and she's like, me too, why can't I have this man eating dinner in my house? And she decides to show up, knowing the kind of reaction she would get. And of course, she's the side chick, she's the reigning babe. The man to say, I know, right? Jumped up from the dinner table and goes to attend to the side chick. And Mr. David saying that
why do you
she's a good wife.
Excuse me.
Let you get up to attend to her.
Sorry.
Exactly.
What? Sir, excuse me. I didn't know what it takes for a community to
already know that that's because it was said that she's an acknowledged side chick.
Probably that woman might be having patience,
Yes, true.
So
she's body count, a lot of emotions.
Padding it up.
Yeah, and I imagine, it's a village, so maybe they go to to the market or whatever. They're people passing snide remarks and comments, and she's just and then the woman now comes to her house. Is the audacity for
the
me.
man should have even set both of them on fire.
Right?
I agree with you.
The man too should have collected small.
Honestly.
So we agreeing with the Supreme Court in all of this.
I think we really have.
I feel like.
Are you changing your mind?
No. I'm actually not changing my mind. Okay. You see the reason I am not in support of death sentence, no matter the consequence. And if you look at, I would not know how long it took for her to die and all that, or whether she died immediately by the
I think
burning.
it was reported that she died.
She
on
took
the way
to the hospital.
Okay. So can you see? So what I'm trying to say is that I feel like if we all take what the Supreme Court has said, it would justify a lot of ills. Like, I understand that it's her home and everything. At the same time, I feel like she punished the wrong person.
Not really. That was better.
I feel like
it's both of them that provoked her, but the woman provoked her more.
No. I don't think the woman. Now let me tell you. I don't think the side chick would have the audacity to come in if the man had not given her that audacity.
Trust me, you've not
exactly.
It happened.
In the first place, why is the guy having a side chick? Let's go there first. Why are you having a side chick?
Yeah, you don't even need to show up.
I believe that if he wanted the woman, really, he could have maybe told his wife he's getting a second wife. After all, we have polygamy and all that.
Most men never admit to wanting a second wife.
You get that kind of thing. But what I'm trying to say is that, and I feel like maybe she has heard about it since she said that all of them in the community knew. And maybe she was complacent about it initially until the lady showed up at the house. But what I'm trying to say is that it's the audacity that lady used, in my opinion, is the one the man had already given her. And already for her to show up and then he stands up and goes to attend to her, that is already enough audacity for the woman to have shown up. So
do you see how it could have led to the wife getting provoked?
I get serious. So for me, she's I think that's why maybe called her good wife. Because
her own reaction is delayed, right?
Delayed, but at the same time, I feel like her using kerosene on her was premeditated. And it was extreme.
I don't know if I would say it was. The first to do no they pay no. Because you cannot tell me how
that
to react.
Because it's understandable.
It's not acceptable.
Yes,
but you cannot. Everybody at that moment she's seeing red, so she's like blazing. Everybody, do you get? Unfortunately, she did not now extend the
I feel like maybe she didn't
husband.
understand maybe the extent to which she was going at that point. But at the same time, I think it's very extreme. Because I feel like if we say, okay, it's okay for her to have born her that she was, that means we also justify people pouring acid on one another or all those other scenarios that occur that are very extreme in the sense of
so what would you say would have been a better judgment?
okay, I don't have the full facts of the case, but based on what we've seen so far, I would have said that the courts would have actually condemned the act on its own. You understand? Because giving her an acquittal from absolving her of all absolutely shows that the court did not condemn the act. Do you understand? So it shows we can say now that people can draw up from that case one day. Maybe some people rise up and where she sued my wife again is sued to court, okay, and then they draw up from that case. They'll not be like, okay, the woman was acquitted, so definitely I should also be acquitted by the court.
It's very dicey. I think it's very dicey. I don't know if I can just blatantly say that it's a dangerous precedent, but I also don't know if I can say that it's justice served.
Okay, so for me, I would say, okay, it depends on what she's being charged with, right?
Okay.
If she's being charged with murder, of course, we would say that that's justice, because we know that the court can only pronounce on what is being given to them, right? So if you're bringing a charge of murder and then we're reducing it maybe to manslaughter because of provocation, that's a whole different question, right? So the question first is, what is she being charged with? Before we go into, okay, so if it's murder and she was totally acquitted, I could have said, okay, yeah, they could have reduced it to manslaughter for the sake of, you know, if you want to say, okay, we're serving justice. Ever. But if the charge before the court was manslaughter already, right? I think we would say in that case, it is justice to say, okay, she's been acquitted, because the court cannot charge her with something else. That is, because even if we are saying, oh yeah, the court should have done some sort of, but I'm sure if we look at the commentaries, you know, we would see some rationales and things behind the decision. And for me, that's the reason why I'm saying that, yes, I do stand with the Supreme Court to say, okay, yes, I would say that is justice, because I can't imagine the humiliation the woman herself would have endured, you know, because I know that generally in society, the woman is expected to just accept it.
Yeah, it's
just
okay.
Take it in.
It's a mistake. The man does not know what he's doing.
Yeah, and things like that. So I think in this particular case, based on what we've, just had, I would say that that's the reason why I am saying that it is justified that the Supreme Court actually,
I agree with you.
That's my own rationale behind.
It's a very thin line between like law and emotions.
Exactly. Because at the end of the day, justice is meant to be seen, to be done. It's not just always just the facts. It's every other thing that surrounds it.
Yeah. Did you have something to say?
Yes, so do you know that so many women are passing through a lot in the marriage? I'm not here to maybe to be inside of a woman. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So, like, I had someone, like she just like my cousin. The husband every day beating, like, do you understand? At least if the husband did not beat her in a week, she will beat her more than 3 times.
Oh Lord!
Do you understand? So so we keep telling her, leave the man. She said that she wants to protect her marriage. Do you understand? That's what exactly that me I'm seeing
from this,
because the woman might have been enduring so many things.
Yes, exactly. That's why I'm trying to say that provocation did not start from the moment she walked in. Because the fact that she said it's a build up of
my
a
kids
lot
are
of
there.
things.
Yes, if I leave
kids.
if I leave my marriage, then who will take care of my
children?
So that patient, enduring, and this person will be dying there. Just because that's what I think that makes her to burn the woman alive. And that man is a he-goat.
Absolutely, I agree with you, David.
The man is he-goat.
Yes, I agree.
Yes, absolutely. Just like, but can you see you have a good wife? Just still went and invite a side chick.
Yeah,
that's wrong.
I remember I was going to reference a video I had seen online at some point. I don't know if any of you have seen this. It was a video of a woman. It was at her party, and the side chick was there. And there was like an altercation. And it was very violent. Like they were dragging each other, fighting. People were trying to settle the fight. I don't know if you've seen any of these videos. It's sort of similar. That's why I was trying to say that sometimes it's not... Some women just have audacity. And it's about marking territory. Like that. I don't imagine that any sane man...
some of them, they are wicked to rest and they want to do it in front of the wife.
Exactly.
That's not...
I don't imagine that the husband will have invited his side chick to his wife's party. But the woman will have gone there just to make a point. To the point where, for the wife to also identify that this is her husband's side chick, that means people probably already know that this is the person that the woman's husband is having an affair with. And then it gets to the point where they are dragging each other and fighting. And it's...
And some men will tell you that, this one is Yawole. Stay in the house.
And I think some people...
And they will go with side chick to party. Yeah. Do you understand? So then why can't you take your wife
out? This is a very valid question to men. I hope that they can answer.
No, not all men anyway. Not all men. No. But just not all men.
Okay, you're trying to exonerate yourself. Before you collect one or two.
Not all men. But mostly men does that.
Yeah.
Mostly men.
And I think for women, generally, there's always that, as long as he's doing it outside and he's not doing it in front of me, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
And I think that silence or that acceptance is something...
It's easier for them.
Yeah, but I think it's something women also need to shake off and realize that it's not okay for you, for anyone, man, woman, to be disrespected in that way. And it's something that they need to address immediately. We are not saying don't forgive if you choose to forgive, right? We understand that you have a choice, right? But don't make it okay to continue to the point where it is that the person then feel, I can disrespect. Because you are saying basically, I know. Because we are saying, the society knows, right? The community knows. And so you definitely would have heard one or two. So before it gets to the place where she feels it is okay to come in, address it with your husband. Address, if you know the person, well, I won't say go and address because you have no business with her really. So address it with your husband, and if you're making a decision to leave, and if you're making a decision to forgive, just know that there are consequences
for your
exactly. So, and this, if you like, decide beforehand how you're going to manage certain situation. But the first thing is not to make it seem like it is okay. Because she going to arrange the bed. Girl, I need to get some lectures. I need to know what you were on.
What was she thinking?
Exactly what were you thinking?
What was going on? What was going on in her head?
Were going to make the bed. Even if my children
their room, exactly the room that she shared with her husband,
the matrimonial room.
So she made her own side of the bed.
Do you get? And even if the children are there, darlings,
maybe that was another reason why she decided not to react.
Do you know what this nonsense starts? Do you know how this nonsense starts? Is when maybe the two of them, they are doing boyfriend and girlfriend.
Do you mean the wife and
the
right?
Like you used to say this adage, you can help me. I think
I understand what you're trying to say. So what you would not
take, don't start it.
Don't start what you can finish.
You see a guy dating two girls, and
one of them knows
that he's dating the other one. And it's either you leave or you tell guy, come, you can't be dating, you can't be doing this.
Actually,
I think it's enough respect for you to even leave, actually. Respect yourself.
Just like before you
respect yourself,
actually. Will be in that.
It becomes a thing, like, it's fine. I'll beg her, and then we'll move on, and then we.
Just that. And you see some men coming in 8 hours, the wife will like, a cowboy, she don't greet the person, don't go and sleep.
What if it's a situation where she has just decided in her head that she's not going to stress herself? What if that's the case?
That's why she don't want to. No, she don't want to lose a marriage.
What were you going to say, Amara?
Because I feel like if it's that scenario where you don't want to stress yourself, you just calmly leave. You walk away.
Fair enough. Because at that point, you're just fair
But sometimes when you are trying to also leave, you are calculating, right? You don't that's something in life you've joined together, right?
Yeah, you need to plan.
You need to plan. Sometimes the financial burden, right? So not every so you sometimes take the time to consider the fact that how do you live and manage the situation without a complete.
That's why when you go to church, you see women raising prayers for the husband.
To be fair, that even the church would say that you should pray. Pray away the spirit. You say,
I've seen a woman.
I'll take the time to pray for my financial breakthrough.
I've seen a woman.
You get exactly.
I've seen a woman with her husband picture praying to her husband picture. Just about but I don't know.
God, women are going through it too.
I don't know that problem.
God, I beg.
Do you understand? Praying seriously. Just there's one issue that happened on my street. Okay, I think they have about 3 kids, but the man left the woman. Do you understand? Okay. Now the woman that has about 3 kids for you said she's a witch.
After 3 kids.
After 3 kids.
Oh wow.
Do you understand?
What a lovely witch.
I know, right?
The woman also very calm.
Very lovely witch.
The woman cannot just go out and get married to another man.
Yeah.
Do you understand? So because before you see a man that will accept 3 children. Do you understand? Yeah. Maybe Duma will be the last wife.
Even the ones that it's difficult for a mother that has only 1 child, not to talk of 3.
Yeah. And that would be a serious problem because the man might have to have seen before they start killing each other.
Yeah.
There's something that happens almost everywhere.
Yeah. So, and it's very unfortunate. But yes. I do agree with you in the sense that, like you said, what you cannot accept, it's better to nip it in the bud as early as possible.
Yes.
Before it gets to the point where your emotions are over the roof and you cannot.
But some girls, they really that is love. You be seeing someone maltreating you, someone cheating on you, you still say that it's love. Maybe the guy is take
Can we make it louder? It's not love.
Take her to club.
It's not love.
Do you understand? You say it's love.
It's not part of it.
It's a root cause, not necessarily like now, I feel people act out what exactly they've held as their beliefs or whatever they've been taught and they've strongly held on to. That is what I feel makes people stay where they are being abused.
Exactly. Yeah. So like most women I think older generation, I would say, I think it's now that people are starting to become a bit vocal about things like this and are also standing on business like, I'm not going to take this, so it's easy for me to work out or whatnot. But I would like to think that older women have had to endure.
Yes. Do you know that in this this generation, the Gen Z generation now, if you see a man that spends maybe always take a girl out, spend money on her, give her money, and the girl now have another guy that doesn't spend for her.
She'll follow the one that spends.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Now, who do you think that that the girl will follow? The girl will follow the one that is spending money for her, and even the one that spend money, that spend money for her can be beating her.
So that's what I was going to say. That the root issue is mostly financial independence. In all of this, that's like a very common element.
Sometimes it is, but I don't know. I would say maybe because we are exposed to a bit of this thing, and sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's not that.
Okay.
Sometimes it's also self-esteem. Sometimes it's a lot of what would people say. So we need to get to a point where we're confident in ourselves. Both for men and women, because I'm very careful to use the word men and women because we also know that men are also
women are not capable of such.
You say? Let's not open the books. But okay, so both men and women, you have to be confident enough in yourself to know that it is okay to walk away from something that isn't serving you. that's it. And I think many times, even friendship, even in many things, sometimes we just stay there and think, oh, for how long, we think of the years past. But I think the way to look at it is to think of what else can I build aside from this, right? So if you are able to think beyond what you have already invested, right? I mean, if you have money in a particular portfolio and it keeps deeping, why would you keep investing money in it?
Start over.
Exactly, just
and
start
it's okay.
over
You're
and
still
just
alive.
cry.
Like, just
It's
start
okay
over.
to cry. It's okay to mourn the fact that you did invest. I know it's not as easy, because we have emotions, we have things that we consider and things like that, right? But at the end of the day, you have to get to that place where you are in yourself enough for yourself to walk away and just be good with you. And the first place is to have a relationship with yourself, right? And many times we build so many relationships with everybody else and but yourself, and you are going to stay with yourself till the rest of your life. So you might as well have that relationship.
Even the kids that you're staying in the relationship for, at some point they would grow older, start their own lives, and then
exactly. So when we get to that place, I think that's the place where you be able to say you want to walk away from whatever it is that is disrespecting you, actually.
Yeah. I agree with you. David looks like he has something else he wants to add.
No, not really.
Okay. So to wrap up this conversation, how would you if you had a friend, God forbid, but if there was anybody in such a similar situation, to avoid getting to the point where you cannot control your emotions and you're seeing red and you act out of character, and what would you advise somebody? So there are two angles to the question. The first one is on the emotional side, on the everyday side. As a human being, how would you advise your friend or your neighbor or whatever to handle such a situation, to avoid, getting to the point where you're killing somebody? So let me hear from Amara.
Okay, so for me, for anyone that I'm usually very close to, one of the things I usually tell people is that have money.
It's very important.
Have money.
Period. Have X money.
Have X money, actually. Because when you have money, you have choices.
Yes.
So when things are not serving you, in as much as you have invested emotionally and otherwise, one of the things you won't be thinking about, oh God, where will my next meal come from? What will happen with my children's education and all those kind of things. The only thing you might be mourning is maybe your heart break and the rest, and the humiliation that came with it and all that. So I feel like when you have money, you have the ability to make choices. So one of the things on the emotional side, you will be very hot and normal and all that. You can have the support of your family and friends as long as they're supporting you and all that. But on the other side, once you have money, I feel like you have the ability to stand up on your own and get yourself back.
Okay.
That's for me.
Thank you for that, Amara. Esther?
So yes, I would just add to, yes, having money is good, but like I said already earlier, also with having that money, also have your confidence, because if you don't, and yes, also have God. Absolutely. Right? Absolutely. Because if you have that relationship with God, you are able to heal. You're able to take it to Him to, mend your broken heart. And it's also okay, because I agree with her that yes, family and friends, but sometimes you will be shocked. And you have to be able to accept the fact that society or families or friends may not be the people there for you, actually. Because sometimes family and things may actually tell you to stay. Yeah. Because they say, oh, cover the shame.
More often than not,
Or men, would be men. Or are you the first person? And things like that, right? But you have to be confident in yourself to say no for yourself, not for anybody else, but for yourself. And before you even get to the place where you have to be put in that situation, right? Like we mentioned earlier, just walk away, please. Walk away. Don't.
Prison is not sexy.
No, it's not. It's not at all. So there is nothing, and I'm sure when the court was deciding on this particular case, I'm sure they would have considered every single thing, including the fact that it had been going on for a while. And then she came into the home. She had to prepare the bed and things like that. Exactly. So I'm sure all of that was what was put into consideration. The next situation might not be that. It might not be that. Yeah. So it's not a license to say, oh, go and no. But so before you have to start defending yourself to say, oh, I was provoked or not provoked.
Exactly.
Just walk away.
Because how do you even prove if the facts are not as clear? How do you even prove that you were truly provoked?
Because the fact that they took her to the hospital also shows some sort of remorse. Well,
we don't know if she was
exactly. We don't know. But I'm saying, at least it shows that they were trying to rescue her. It wasn't that she just left her, there. So there was some sort of help, and sometimes it might not be. Hers was kerosene. It might not be kerosene. If the person had a gun or had something, that would have been instant, right? Yeah. So the situation can vary. So the best thing is don't even find yourself
in that situation.
Yeah. And I mean, please, if you're in that situation, get help.
Get help. Psychological help. Start with your mental first.
Get some counseling. Important. It's not. There's no shame in going for counseling. Yeah. So please, getting help.
Get help. Yeah.
So I agree what Amara said, that money will be involved.
Yeah.
Do you understand? But another thing is that God first. Because if you say a good marriage, it's not by your doing. It's not by your doing. It's just God. Do you understand? So, but not every woman wants to become a single mother.
Yeah.
Do you understand? So, money is good, but if the situation, if the situation on ground is heavier amount than you, I believe the solution is to separate.
Yeah.
Just after separate, they can still come back. But that's because that's what I can say. But the first thing is just God.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Because no marriage is 100% good.
There's a lot of work involved. And I agree with the God factor, because even as a child of God, in the moment of anger, you would hear there's just something. I don't know how, but the Holy Spirit will just find a way of helping you calm your spirits before you get to the point where you are trying to pour kerosene on somebody else. That's extreme. And this thing just also reminded me. This was also in the news of this politician's daughter who, I think she had a baby abroad or whatever, and then she came back, found out that her husband had an affair, was having an affair, and then that led to her outrage. She killed herself and then she killed herself and killed her husband and I think the baby, or something very, very, very sad. I think she killed her husband and the baby, and then she was arrested or something like that. And then obviously they tried to say, she was not mentally stable. She still went to prison at the end of the day. So the whole provocation thing and your defense, it's better to not get to that point, And so I think we can take one or two things from here. First of all, God is very important in any type of relationship you have, whether it's platonic or romantic or in your marriage or whatever it is. Always involve God. It's very important as adults to regulate our emotions. That's very, very important. Know how, it's not every situation that requires a reaction. Sometimes you can just take a bit, walk away, think about it, address things, nip things in the bud before they get to the point where you cannot but, extremely react. This has been a very nice and interesting conversation, I would say. Yeah. For curious minds, again, if you'd like to just read up more on the case and get more insights, the case was decided in 2005. It's Shande versus State. I'm sure you can find the case summary on Google or Law Pavilion or whatever. But have a blast at it and see you on another episode. Thanks for watching. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.